With the Dance Moms reunion and both the Dance Moms reboots quickly approaching, the entire Dance Moms cast has been a huge point of conversation lately. But that's not the only point of conversation lately. Brooke and Tana Mojo have also had a lot of attention on them with their own podcast, and this time it's involving Meghan Trainor. But before we get into that, we have a lot to talk about today. With Maddie Ziegler shocking her fans appearing in this new duo, to JoJo Siwa pulling and straining her muscles, we've got a lot to cover in today's episode, so buckle up and let's get into it. First off, let's talk about the dynamic duo that the entire internet seems to be talking about right now. And no, this time it is not Maddie and Mackenzie Ziegler, it is Maddie Ziegler and Addison Rae. So Addison Rae and Maddie have clearly been hanging out, and they posted some TikToks together, and the fans were reacting a little not as I expected, but here's what happened, and here's what they had to say.
I'm a Libra.
Everybody knows that I'm a good girl, officer. No,
I can send you the address.
He didn't bring his phone, so...
Oh, I can give you the address.
No need.
Can't hurt.
Might hurt.
So I personally think that this is the perfect collab, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But here's how the fans were reacting to Addison and Maddie hanging out for the first time after they posted these TikToks. For one, the first people were like, Maddie and Addison and Maddie, what? That matches so much, with other people saying Addison and Maddie, iconic, Maddie and Addison, oh my god. So clearly, looking here at the fans' responses, there was literally nothing negative about it, with other people saying, we need more Maddie and Addie content. Like, clearly the fans are very happy. Now, why I think that this is a perfect collaboration is because both Maddie and Addison are trying to break into the old media acting industry. They've both booked acting jobs, and Madison has even booked leading roles. Now Maddie has her first leading role coming out, and I think that because they are both have their come up on social media, they're both not so much respected in old Hollywood the same way as other leading actresses are, and so I think by them connecting themselves and showing themselves to the world, that creates a strong bond and a strong network, or ever put in a project together, then they would have tons of exposure, and they're both seen in the same kind of class of entertainment as opposed to them hanging out with just other social media influencers. But let me know what your opinion is of Maddie hanging out with Addison Rae down in the comments below. I personally thought that there would be more backlash because I didn't think that the public image and branding around Addison Rae was super likable and loved by the public the same way that Maddie Ziegler is. But let me know what you guys think. But next we're going to talk about JoJo Siwa, because it would not be a week with JoJo Siwa if she was not up to some kind of crazy shenanigans, and this week it is tearing her muscles. So let's see what JoJo Siwa was up to.
Today, I want to teach myself how to do this, but with no hands. So I full sent it and was like, you know what we're going to do with one hand. And that actually turned out pretty good. So I was like, fuck it, no hands. And what? And somehow that happened. So then I was like, all right, we actually got this. We can actually make this happen. And then it was just a lot and a lot and a lot of landing on my ass. Got scared again, started to put my hands out, really just bailing to cartwheels, doing all the things, and just more awkward landings, really not nailing it. But you know what? I figured with a little determination, we're gonna get there. We're gonna find it. It's gonna take us some time, but we're gonna find it. And then eventually, by some fucking miracle, after all of these ass fails, I started to figure it out, and boom. Look at that. 1, 2, and of course, third time is the motherfucking charm. Boom, there she is. Wow, mind blown.
Honestly, good for JoJo for nailing it. It's super cool to see JoJo still having that same determination and that same work ethic. She still has that drive she had when she was a little kid, and she never seemed to have lost it. But honestly, seeing how many times she landed that going into it sideways so many times, I'm like, oh my god, my lower back would be so thrown out. Her back is probably spasming and dead today, but she nailed it. It looked great. But that being said, let's get into Tana Mojo, because fans are so upset after listening to Tana and Brooke's podcast. So I had to go listen to the entire thing because they had Chris Olsen from TikTok and Meghan Trainor over as guests, and it was just wilding out. But for the most part, they were fine. It's just there was a few things that really triggered fans, and we're going to get into those. But segue first, I thought it was a perfect segue to go from JoJo to Meghan Trainor, because JoJo has been working a lot with Meghan Trainor the last couple of years, from being a featured artist in her Christmas music video to starting to work with Meghan Trainor and bringing her in to train the XOMG Pop Girls, and now they're collabing all the time. But let's get into it, because this podcast with Tana Mojo was a mess. So getting into it, the reason why fans are cringing so hard is because Meghan Trainor said that she was a big fan of Tana Mojo, and so that's why her and Chris Olsen were invited onto the podcast. Chris Olsen to me is just like the tag-along of Meghan Trainor. And I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but it was the things that Meghan wanted to talk about on this podcast. Like, she brings up a kiss, and that is when fans got really angry, because she said that she would love for her brother to kiss and to be with Chris Olsen, except for her brother is completely straight. So... But not only that, she makes Tana kiss her, and that is when the fans were like, what the heck?
Meghan's dream forever is at the end of the day.
I said, Tana, no, don't you Dad!
Isn't that like a whole thing on the internet though? You guys had like a little pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Listen, I make people kiss people. Kiss. No, on the lips. Sort of go.
I just kissed Meghan Trainor on cancel.
Yes.
I love a kiss. Oh, I feel so good and sweaty.
And sure, Tana went along with it, but fans were not having it, with one fan saying Tana would never admit this, but I feel like she didn't want to kiss her, but would have been too awkward if she didn't. The kiss? Like, what was that actually? Tana was trying to do that, and the forcing her to do it was so uncomfortable, because you could tell Tana didn't want to do it. She pulled away so fast. This whole episode was just uncomfortable AF. Meghan making Tana kiss her was my last straw. Had to turn it off. But what do you guys think? Do you think that that was so incredibly inappropriate? Let me know down in the comments below. The most awkward thing to me in this podcast is that Meghan got her brother to kiss her gay friend and take a bunch of photos of it to post on social media. Like, I just don't understand the point.
We were all in Australia celebrating, and we walked the bridge, the amazing bridge in Sydney.
And they had us, you had to go in pairs.
Couples. You had to go in pairs.
Yes.
So Ryan was paired with Chris, and
Listen,
me and
Ryan and I
Daryl.
love each other. We really do.
But me and Daryl kissed in our moment. So then we went first, and then I yelled at them, and I said, "Kiss!"
And listen,
then they kissed.
Yeah. I
Ryan
wasn't
grabbed a
initially
hose.
gonna do it, but Ryan dipped me.
I said, absolutely
Ready for a moment.
I love it. We love a secure in your masculinity straight man,
Absolutely
and
love.
we love
Good
a
job,
kiss.
Ryan.
And so when I was creating my Australia dump on Instagram, I was like, I want a moment to be the first photo.
Like, is this queer baiting? Did they think that it was hilarious? And the entire audience online kind of was like question marks as well, seeing this content go up. Like, are they dating? Are they actually together? Is her brother coming out? Like, is this his coming out post? And fans really didn't know what to think. But that is it for me for today's video, you guys. What did you guys think about the Maddie Ziegler and Addison Rae duo, and JoJo Siwa pulling all of her muscles just to get one trick? Because, you know, that persistence, you gotta give that to her. But especially, what did you guys think about this whole kiss fiasco over on the Tana and Brooke podcast? Let me know down in the comments below. But that is it for today's video. If you want to check out my last video where we were talking about Mackenzie Ziegler and the Dance Moms cult, you can check it out over here. And as always, make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys!